Imagine you are an investor deciding where to put millions of dollars. You check the company's financial statements, then you open their sustainability report. One company claims it is net zero aligned, another says it is climate positive, a third company says it is green by design. But here's the problem: how do you know which claims actually matter financially? And how can investors compare companies across countries? This challenge led to the creation of the IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Standards, developed by the International Sustainability Standards Board under the IFRS Foundation. But to understand why they matter, we need to step back and look at how sustainability reporting evolved. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, companies started publishing sustainability or corporate responsibility reports. One of the earliest global frameworks was developed by the Global Reporting Initiative, which launched its first reporting guidelines in 2000. These frameworks were voluntary. Why? Because they were created by a non governmental organization and multi stakeholder initiatives, but not regulators. Organizations like the Global Reporting Initiative, the Carbon Disclosure Project, and later the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board developed disclosure frameworks that companies could choose to adopt. These frameworks helped standardize reporting, but companies were not legally required to follow them. This meant two companies could publish sustainability reports that looked very different, making comparison difficult for investors. Now, why financial regulators got involved? The turning point came after the 2008 global financial crisis. Financial regulators started asking a bigger question: could climate change and environmental risks also threaten the stability of the financial system? This question brought attention from the Financial Stability Board. The Financial Stability Board is an international body created by the G20 to monitor and strengthen the global financial system. It does not regulate companies directly. Instead, it coordinates financial regulators, central banks, and finance ministries across major economies. In 2015, the Financial Stability Board created the Task Force on Climate Related Financial Disclosures, also known as TCFD. The goal was to help companies disclose climate risks that could affect financial markets. Now let's understand TCFD and what they did. TCFD, or Task Force on Climate Related Financial Disclosures, introduced a simple but powerful structure. Companies should disclose climate information across four areas: governance, strategy, risk management, metrics, and targets. Over time, this framework became extremely influential. By 2023, more than 4,000 companies and financial institutions globally had expressed support for the TCFD recommendations. Many governments, including the UK and Japan, began integrating TCFD based disclosures into regulations. But there was still a problem. TCFD provided recommendations, not formal accounting style standards. That's where the next evolution began. In 2021, the IFRS Foundation established the International Sustainability Standards Board, also known as ISSB. The IFRS Foundation already oversees global accounting standards used in over 140 jurisdictions. Its goal was to bring the same level of rigor and comparability to sustainability disclosures. In 2023, the board released the first two global standards: IFRS S1, General Sustainability Disclosures, IFRS S2, for climate related disclosures. These standards build heavily on the TCFD framework, but they go further by providing detailed disclosure requirements. A common question is whether these standards are mandatory. The answer is not globally, at least not yet. The IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Standards serve as global baseline. Countries decide whether and how to adopt them. For example, some jurisdictions are already aligning their regulations with these standards. In other countries, companies may adopt them voluntarily to meet investor expectations. This means not all countries require them, not all companies must follow them, and implementation may vary by sector and jurisdiction. However, the influence of these standards is growing rapidly because they are designed to integrate with the financial reporting systems used by capital markets. Now, let's imagine an example. Why investors care? Imagine a global steel company. Steel production emits large amounts of carbon. Now, suppose governments introduce stricter climate policies or carbon pricing. The company might need to invest billions in new technologies such as the hydrogen based steel production. Under IFRS S2, the company would need to disclose its climate related risks, its transition strategy, and its emission targets. Investors can then evaluate whether the company is prepared for the low carbon transition. For decades, sustainability reporting lived mostly in corporate responsibility reports, but today, something fundamental is changing. Sustainability issues are increasingly being treated as financial risks and opportunities. That is why frameworks developed by the ISSB are now being connected directly to financial markets. The real question is no longer about is the company sustainable, but rather how will sustainability risks affect its financial future? And this shift may reshape how companies report information for decades to come. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Thank you.